The RCMP evidence locker held a secret that would shatter everything we thought we knew about the Sullivan twins' disappearance. Detective Sarah Chen's hands trembled as she opened the sealed envelope marked confidential, dated 3 days after the twins vanished. Inside was a photograph that Daniel Sullivan claimed never existed. A photograph that proved he had been lying from the very beginning. The timestamp read 11:47 p.m. on October 13, 2023. Less than 4 hours before Daniel called 911, screaming that his daughters were missing from their beds. But here they were, captured by a traffic camera 2 miles from their home, walking hand in hand down Riverside Avenue. And they weren't alone. If you're ready to uncover the shocking truth with me, hit that subscribe button right now, because what we're about to reveal will change everything you thought you knew about this case. The Sullivan family's carefully constructed story is about to crumble, and you don't want to miss a single piece of evidence as it falls. Let me take you back to where this all began, because the truth was hiding in plain sight from day one. October 14, 2023 started like any other Saturday morning in the quiet suburb of Maplewood. Children rode their bikes down tree-lined streets, parents sipped coffee on their front porches, and life moved at the peaceful pace that had drawn the Sullivan family here just 2 years earlier. Daniel Sullivan had called it their fresh start. After his messy divorce from the twins' mother, Rebecca, he'd fought hard for custody of 8-year-old Emma and Lily. The identical twins with their bright blue eyes and infectious giggles had been through enough, he said. They deserved stability, safety, a place where they could just be kids. But at 6:23 a.m. that Saturday morning, Daniel's frantic voice shattered the morning calm. The 911 call would later become evidence, played and replayed in courtrooms and police stations. His words, raw with what sounded like genuine terror, painted the picture of every parent's worst nightmare. "My daughters are gone," he sobbed into the phone. "I went to wake them up for breakfast, and their beds are empty. The window is open. Someone took my babies. Please, you have to help me find them." The responding officers found exactly what Daniel described. 2 twin beds with rumpled sheets, a window screen carefully removed and placed against the wall. No signs of struggle. It looked like a textbook abduction, clean and calculated. The kind that sends chills down every parent's spine and dominates news cycles for weeks. Detective Chen arrived at the scene within an hour. She'd worked missing children cases for 15 years, and something felt wrong from the moment she stepped into that perfectly staged bedroom. The screen removal was too neat, too careful. Most abductors don't take time to gently remove screens and place them aside. They break, they tear, they leave chaos in their wake. But it was Daniel's behavior that really caught her attention. While most parents in similar situations were either catatonic with grief or manic with desperate energy, Daniel seemed almost rehearsed. His story never wavered, never changed, not even in the smallest details. In Chen's experience, trauma makes memory unreliable. People forget things, remember things differently, contradict themselves. But not Daniel Sullivan. The community response was immediate and overwhelming. Within hours, hundreds of volunteers joined the search effort. They combed through every inch of Maplewood's parks, forests, and abandoned buildings. Missing person flyers with Emma and Lily's school photos appeared on every telephone pole and storefront window. The hashtag Find the Sullivan Twins trended on social media as the story spread beyond their small town. If this story is gripping you the way it's gripping me, please subscribe and hit that notification bell, because the evidence we're about to uncover will shock you to your core. The Sullivan twins deserve justice, and your support helps us continue digging for the truth that someone desperately wanted to keep buried. Rebecca Martinez, the twins' mother, arrived from Phoenix within 24 hours of the disappearance. The divorce had been bitter, with accusations flying from both sides about fitness as parents. But seeing Rebecca's raw anguish as she pleaded for her daughter's safe return, even Detective Chen felt her initial suspicions about maternal involvement fade away. "Emma always sleeps with her stuffed elephant," Rebecca told reporters, her voice breaking. "Lily can't fall asleep without her nightlight. They're scared of the dark. Please, whoever has them, please don't hurt my babies. They just want to come home." The investigation expanded rapidly. FBI agents joined local police, treating it as a potential kidnapping case. They interviewed neighbors, analyzed security footage from nearby businesses, and set up a tip line that was flooded with hundreds of calls from concerned citizens reporting sightings across 3 states. But it was the traffic camera footage that would eventually crack this case wide open, though no one realized it at the time. The camera at the intersection of Riverside and Oak had been malfunctioning for weeks, cycling through periods of working normally and going completely dark. The night the twins disappeared, it captured only intermittent footage, seemingly random snippets of an otherwise dark stretch of road. For months, this footage sat in digital storage, considered useless due to its sporadic nature. The timestamps showed gaps of hours between recordings, making it impossible to establish any timeline or pattern. It wasn't until Detective Chen's partner, Officer Rodriguez, decided to examine every single frame that they discovered something that would change everything. Hidden between the darkness and the static was 7 seconds of crystal-clear footage. 7 seconds that Daniel Sullivan had sworn under oath never existed. 7 seconds that proved the twins hadn't been abducted from their bedroom window at all. The footage showed Emma and Lily Sullivan walking down Riverside Avenue at 11:47 p.m. on October 13th. They weren't running. They weren't being forced. They were walking calmly, holding hands, following someone just outside the camera's frame. Someone they clearly knew and trusted. This evidence changes everything we thought we knew about this case. Subscribe so you don't miss what happens next, because the person those little girls were following that night will shock you. The web of lies Daniel Sullivan constructed is about to unravel, thread by thread, and the truth is far darker than anyone imagined. When Detective Chen first saw this footage, she had to watch it 17 times before she could process what it meant. Everything about the Sullivan case had been built on Daniel's timeline. The morning discovery, the open window, the careful removal of the screen. If the twins were already gone by midnight, then every piece of physical evidence at the house was nothing but an elaborate stage set. But who were they following? The figure remained frustratingly just out of frame, visible only as a shadow at the very edge of the camera's range. Chen's team enhanced the footage, analyzed gait patterns, tried every technical trick they knew to identify the person leading Emma and Lily down that dark street. For weeks, they came up empty. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Mrs. Patterson, an elderly neighbor who lived 3 houses down from the Sullivans, had been plagued by insomnia since her husband's death 2 years earlier. She spent most nights reading by her bedroom window, watching the quiet street for any sign of activity. On the night of October 13th, she remembered seeing someone walking past her house around midnight. She hadn't thought much of it at the time. People sometimes took late evening walks for exercise or to clear their heads. But when Detective Chen showed her the enhanced timestamp from the traffic camera, Mrs. Patterson's face went pale. "I know who that is," she whispered. "I've seen them walking together before. Late at night, when they thought no one was watching." The person leading Emma and Lily Sullivan to their fate that night wasn't a stranger. It wasn't some random predator who had targeted them from afar. It was someone who had access to their house, someone who knew their routines, someone they trusted completely. Someone who had convinced an entire community, an entire police force, that he was the grieving father desperately searching for his missing daughters. As Detective Chen prepared to make the arrest that would finally bring justice for Emma and Lily Sullivan, she couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. The evidence locker held more secrets, more photographs, more proof of a deception so elaborate it had fooled everyone for over 8 months. Help us seek justice for Emma and Lily by subscribing and sharing their story. The full truth about what happened that night is still being uncovered, and in Part 2, we'll reveal the shocking confession that proves Daniel Sullivan never intended for his daughters to be found. The location where he led them, the reason he betrayed their trust, and the evidence that will finally put him behind bars forever. What do you think Daniel's true motive was? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the devastating conclusion to this case that has haunted Maplewood for months. Emma and Lily Sullivan deserve justice, and their story deserves to be told.